What's up, my peoples? Kim here. Today we're going to talk about how I deal with loneliness. And are you lonely or just alone? Okay. So let's really just jump right in. My experiences. I feel like I've been like alone / lonely pretty much all my life. I would say for the beginning parts of my life, like between like ages like 8 to 20, I just felt alone. I was raised by a single dad, and so it was just, if he wasn't there, I had a couple friends here and there, but for the most part, I was chilling, entertaining myself. There has never been one person that has been in my life for a permanent amount of time. Like, nobody's in your life for a permanent amount of time, but like, even my dad was not, did not play a very significant part of my life in the last 10 years. So, but we'll talk about that. Let me start off with like, when I was younger, my sister was like my point person. If it wasn't my dad, but she stopped being around, I think around when I was like 10. Then it was really just me and my dad. And in my middle school years, I think this is when I really found a strong interest in being on the computer all the time. I just stayed on that computer, and I did have friends that were always on like AIM and Yahoo Messenger and would make websites for fun and be on like story websites, and I really got into that stuff. And it's funny because I kind of do stuff like that now, today, to this day. So I feel like that goes into the segue of, yeah, being alone doesn't have to mean that you are lonely. They are two different things. I never felt lonely growing up, but the loneliness did like hit me real quick in college. It didn't hit me my freshman year. I think I had the most friends my freshman year. It did start to hit me sophomore year. I was in a single, didn't have a roommate. I was an RA. I didn't mesh with my team, like my RA team. I liked a couple people, but there was like obvious tension with a certain group, which I didn't even know about until later. Like, it was like that gossipy thing. But anyway, and so that's when I first felt it. But I did have people around, and it wasn't the strongest my sophomore year. It was just like, you know. And then it like reared its ugly head my junior year of college. Like all my friends had just like disappeared. And I was living on South Campus. I had 2 different roommates, one first semester, another one second semester. And it was just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's hard to explain because I did have like one good friend, but we were like not doing too well for like the most pettiest reasons. It was a guy too, so it was just like we were friends. And it seemed like that guy wanted to be more than friends, but he wasn't saying anything. And I'm just like, well, you can't have boyfriend privileges if you can't have boyfriend privileges if you're not my boyfriend. So you better speak up and say you want to be my boyfriend, or like chill out and back the hell up, you know. And the rift continued, and we just never, we talked again later in the future, but that friendship kind of like, I wouldn't say died, but like fizzled out that year. My 2 roommates, it's funny, like you can really be seriously going through stuff and the people around you can have no idea. That happened with one of my roommates. She was going through something, and like there was just one day where I like heard her and I like helped her through that, but I had no idea. But then the same was going for me. I think my second roommate, she had no idea that like I was like, people would call it depressed. But I was just really sad that I had nobody that I could really consider a friend and hang out with and all that stuff. And I would tell my dad, and he was just like, I think he also was going through a lot of, but I know he was also going through a lot of stuff. And so he was just, I was not on his radar anymore. He was like, you're in college, your problems are your problem now. And so that's kind of what it was for that. I guess I did finally just get used to being alone, sorta. I even like went to the college counselor to be like, yo, I'm alone as hell. What am I doing? What do I do? She was like, yeah, you are alone. And then she put me in a group therapy session, and I saw how other people had very interesting issues. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I should be happy that I don't have that issue, and I can help them through there. But yeah, like this one girl was just like feuding with her sister, her twin sister. Ugh, I was just like, oh, that's tough. But I don't even have any family. Like I said, I was raised by my dad. My mom was not in my life growing up. She started to be a little bit more active when I was 17, and then a little bit more like in college, but then that died out. And now like she came to help me when I first got out of the hospital when I was pregnant, when I gave birth, but then she hasn't been to come visit since, and she has no plans to come visit. My siblings, we just on a whole different level. We in two different worlds, just no vibes. Zero vibes. And I'm a lot younger than them, but that doesn't mean anything at this point because we're all in our 30s now. So we going through similar stuff, but that we just yeah, it's just not it. So I'm chilling like a mega villain with me and mine, and that's it. And so let's move forward into talking about how me being alone made me think that I was lonely and made me make decisions to cure my loneliness. But those decisions just wound up making my life harder, more difficult, influencing my mental health, and a whole bunch of other mess that could have been avoided if I just maintained my solitude. And I'm probably gonna repeat this throughout all my videos, but I don't regret anything that happened because everything is a life experience, you know? So it happened, blah, 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 blah. Part of my stories is to also share that things can be fucking traumatic. You're gonna make decisions that you think are right in the moment, but wind up being horribly, horribly wrong. And like I said, it might be dramatic. But at the end of it, it's all about how you choose to go forward afterwards. Don't let it cause fear in your future actions. Let it make you become more fearless and to just make better decisions for yourself in the long run. It is a process of trial and error and learning. Failing is inevitable, and I don't see life experiences as failures until you repeat the same shit multiple times. Then you just, girl, what you doing? But do you? So the first like experience where I was just like, damn, I'm so alone, I cannot do this. I knew it was, I don't know. At first one was just me going to live with some friends. I'm trying to think of the specs. Okay, so let me give you a backstory. I had just finished an internship and a freelance job. I had my apartment in Atlanta. I was doing well, but I was just very down, and I just also didn't know where my next job was gonna come from. I didn't know. I didn't have like a group of people that I was vibing with. I was just like, what do I do now? Life is just not fun right now. And so I just go and live with an old friend and their family because I wanted to save money, they were very, very open arms and welcoming. Like, more welcoming than anybody has ever been, which kind of is a red flag in this day and age, unfortunately to say. And I just wanted to be around people just for a little while. People that I could vibe with, you know? And definitely save money, because I did wind up getting the remote job, or whatever, but it was just part-time and it wasn't paying like amazingly, so why not save some money, and just, yeah, be around community. That ended horribly. I was only there for a month and a half, maybe 2 months. I was traveling throughout it because my job was, you know, based, this was the job that was based in Portland, and I was traveling to my home state, Minnesota, and stuff for the job, and just in general and stuff. So I wasn't there like all the time, but the 2-ish months that I was there, it was like so rocky for no fucking reason. And I wound up leaving for a job opportunity back in Georgia, and then like a hurricane happened. And they, like, the people that were living there that I was living with, they like evacuated, and I was already gone. So I was like, okay, well, you guys let me know when you go back so I can also go back and, you know, continue living and stuff. They never let me know. They were not communicative. They kind of just wrote me off. And I'm like, Negro, my stuff is at your house. I only have a small suitcase. I'm not going back to your house if you're not going to let me know what's going on. This is uncomfortable. I know this is over. This is droop. Okay, what's my next plan? So I'm in Georgia, just like, okay, what the fuck is my life about to happen? What's about to happen next? And so I wind up driving from Georgia to Minnesota on my own. By myself in my little cerulean Nissan Versa without a car charger, Georgia to Minnesota. Because I went to go stay with my sister, because that was really the only option I had given the amount of money that I had, and I didn't want to stay in Georgia. That's why I left in the first place. I needed a community. I needed people around me. That's what I thought, and I know, but that's what I thought, you know. And so, yeah, I drive up there. I don't have my shit, like a whole apartment's worth of shit, FYI. And I had a cat. The cat, that's another story. The cat kind of ran away during this whole process, which, lucky for me, because it was a bit like, a cat's like a fucking kid, you know? That's a story within itself. It's nothing that I did. I just put them outside to give them a little walk. Or just give them some air, because I hated the car while during this transition. And a car rolled past and they ran away. And I just couldn't. They were gone. I didn't see where they ran. I was looking for them for an hour and it was gone. So through this process, I lost the cat. I lost all my shit, okay? Like, I had a lot, like, all my shit. The one thing that I regret most is all of my college books and my clarinet that I had that I've been using since, like, what, 7th grade. Those are the two things that I regret the most losing. But literally, I had furnished my whole first apartment. So bed frame, couch, my desk, all that cute shit from, you can see it in those other videos that I have on my channel. But moving forward from that, it's funny now, but it was not funny then. So I'm in Minnesota. I'm thinking, I'm a family. It should be okay. I shouldn't, like, it should be okay at least, right? No, it's not okay at all. At all. Oh, Lord Jesus, help me. So thank Jesus I have this remote job. There's a conference for the job in Minnesota, so I'm like really active in this. Throughout all of this, I'm also like creating this documentary, which you can also see in on my website, on my business website, and it's in my YouTube channel. It's the Building Empathy Through Equity, talking about housing and my my family's experience through housing in Minneapolis. I was doing that whole documentary by myself during this time. It took me, what, 3 months to get it all done, interview all those people. I had an editor help me though, so I don't know if I could have edited how he did, so that was a lifesaver. Got that done by the time the conference, and I was very throughout all of 2018, I would say that my career success really showed, really was elevated. I was working hard. So though I was like unstable with my housing, my career was thriving. And moving from that, conference was over. I was still at my family's house. Let me explain why that wasn't the best situation. One, my sister had a 2-bedroom. It was just big enough for her and her daughter, but it was like me and my sister and my niece and my mom. That's 4 people in a 2-bedroom, not including anybody else that just so happened to want to stop in. Hot mess. It's a hot mess. And my vibe, as you can see, I'm like, if you're used to being alone all the time, having a house packed with people is not comfortable. Not comfortable at all. And I don't have a bed. I'm like, I got like a air mattress. I didn't sleep on the couch because our couches weren't new. And just, that's not really my vibe, I guess. I could, but I didn't want to. And so like, it just was not a comfortable space. And adding on just family negativity and family BS. No. And on top of that, I'm over here trying to contribute in some way. I want to be like a collaborative network. I'm a very business-minded person, but I just wanted to be collaborative in terms of living. So I'm like, okay, I'm not paying any rent here, but I'm gonna buy all the food. Just send me a text on the stuff that you want. Never happened. Nobody ever asked. Never told, like, nobody ever accepted my help for anything. I even like bought toilet paper and stuff. She's like, you didn't have to do that. But in a weird way, like, not even, of course it was accepted, but it was like it wasn't a thanks. It was just like okay. And then wanted to complain about it later. Like, it wasn't giving you, well, we're gonna just moving on from that. So after my vibration was depleted extremely from these 2 situations, I finally get my money up enough to be able to move into my own apartment in Minneapolis. Thank the Lord Jesus. I moved a day or 2 before my 28th birthday. Oh, get that breath. Oh. And so much more mess underneath that. But I'm just gonna fast forward to a little bit of a mess that I don't feel like sharing. Well, I kind of do want to share it because it's just more family stuff and people go through this. So I move, but at some point, family got mixed up and also had to move. And so family was expecting to move in with me. I got enough for me because I was trying to get out of their hair because it had been 3 months, and I needed this space to myself after all of that. And I'm like, oh, so I have to accommodate you. Typically, yeah, I mean, that's expected if we actually got along, if we actually could live together, but we can't. We just can't, okay? My hair coming done. But I let them, I let my, like the 3, let them stay for a little bit, but I couldn't do forever. It just didn't feel right. The older I get, the more I'm all about the vibe and the energy, and if your energy sucks, I can't, nope. Don't matter if you're family or not. I just can't, nope, just nope. And that's kind of what it was at the end of it. And especially since nobody was trying to work with me. Like I said, I'm all about the collaboration. If you're not trying to do anything to help the household, then no, you can't chill. We can't live together, because I'm always going to do my part and more. But I'm not going to be the only one doing some stuff. So of course people got mad at me, and I was left to my own devices once again, being alone. And it was 2019 was the hardest, I can't even say the hardest year. It was the most healing, intense, year of my life so far. It was getting over all the bitch ass shit that had happened in the last couple of years. Even the graduating, because graduating college, that was a story within itself. But graduating college, all the BS of trying to get a job after college, moving back home but having to leave home, I forgot that part. And then all of this stuff, it was just, I took the biggest deep breath of my life during 2019. It started with just me. I was working obviously during this time, but just sleep. I slept so much. I also impulsively bought a new car. I bought the car that I have. It was just like a form of protection for myself. My car kept getting stuck in the snow because it was a Georgia car. And now my car is like, right now it's like a little beefy thing I call Rue. And it just felt like I needed security or some shit, emotional purchase. And then May of 2019, I got into CrossFit, and I did CrossFit for like 4 or 5 months, and that was really healing. Just getting my health back in order. I mean, I was healthy, but getting my body and like, because I was very out of shape, and I didn't even realize it until I was in CrossFit. Because when your mind is like overwhelmed with bullshit and just emotional pain and stuff, you're not paying attention to how you like all of this other stuff. And so I got that under wraps and stuff. And I a lot of just also a lot of crap going on with the job that I had at the time. And so I wound up applying for a job in Georgia, working for the city, and I got that. And so I planned to move back to Georgia. My dad was also like really sick, but also like low-key an asshole. But like, who else is gonna look after him? I'm the only person. His wife was not doing well by him. But another thing I would say during this time, water was like a huge healing aspect for me. Minnesota, Minneapolis, whatever, has a bunch, well, obviously state of many lakes or whatever. And so like I would always go to the lakes. I know some of them are man-made, blah blah blah. Go to the lakes. I actually canoe or kayaked in the Mississippi River. That was different and fun. Went on like a job retreat, and we went whitewater rafting in northern Oregon. Sounds like the widest shit you can do, but it was like the most fun I had during a work retreat ever in my life. I would do it again 300 times. And because we stayed at this like hostel, but it was like so nice. And the hostel had like a bath house. Yeah. That had like a cool pool and a hot pool and a sauna and stuff. It's so much fun. It was just so much fun. That's when I started to realize it wasn't just my weight. There was something wrong with my legs. Because I could not move fast. It wasn't even just I wasn't even getting tired. I was just like, legs, you're just not working for me. But I didn't really think much of it. I should have, but I didn't. And just moved on from it because I thought I was just fat. But I wasn't that fat. And I was doing CrossFit. I should have had more in me, you know, but I didn't. So that's foreshadowing for some future videos. So yeah, I moved back to Georgia in September. And yeah, I actually didn't get an apartment in Georgia. I got I stayed in a house with roommates so I could save money. And I saved a lot of money. It helped me to be able to buy my house now. And this is me preparing in 2019, and I bought the house January, February of 2021. So yeah, there's other stories, but let's bring it back to the point of being alone versus lonely. I would say I much rather enjoy being alone, and I don't see it as being lonely nearly as much as I used to, because interactions with the wrong type of people are detrimental to your mental and emotional health. Like on some real ish, okay? Loneliness can be curable. It's all in your mind. It's a mindset situation. I'm gonna say that 15,000 times because everything that we do in life is controlled by our mind. And there's even deeper psychology and mental research that talks about how our mind is not us. We have to trick our mind to believing the things that we actually want for ourselves, or else our mind will fuck us over on some real ish. So like, and it doesn't help that our society forces relationships, friendships, and stuff on us for superficial affirmation, validation, superficial validation, reciprocity, all this stuff that we don't exactly need. I'm not gonna say that we don't need people, because we definitely do, and I definitely wish I had at least one, because I've always had at least one person in my life, and I was always content with that. But you don't need a bunch of friends. You really don't. There was a quote that I read, and it was like, if not having friends is your only problem, then you're doing pretty fucking great in life. I'm not gonna say that that's true or not, but it's like something to note. There's a book that I read called The Courage to Be Disliked. Sounds crazy, right? Like, why would you want to be disliked? Everybody in this world is disliked by at least one person. And The Courage to Be Disliked really talked about how a lot of our anguish and just negativeness in our life can be based off of the way in which we handle our interpersonal relationships, or just the nature of our interpersonal relationships. That meaning just the relationships we have with people in general, just anybody, you know? And it's not always your fault. It could be the other person, and you're receiving the backlash of that, the projection. So you have to choose the people in your life wisely. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, wait. Don't settle if you can help it, because you could be pushing yourself backwards when you could be pretty chill and comfortable and moving forward if you were just chilling by yourself. Okay? Don't be getting into a relationship just because that's what everybody else is doing. Don't be getting into a relationship just because you want to feel validated. You want somebody to tell you that you're cute. That's not what a relationship is. Relationship, in my words, is witnessing another person's life and encouraging them to keep moving forward in a positive way, in an honest way, in a sincere, genuine, loving way. That's what it is. If you can't do that for that person, don't bring them into your life to do it for you. That's how I see it. I don't know if I agree with the love yourself, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, of course you're supposed to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, yeah, you can't love anybody else. But that doesn't mean you don't deserve love. I don't know where I stand with all of that, but if you are lonely, check your brain. Ask yourself, where is the loneliness coming from, and how you could flip and turn your mindset to just feeling alone for the time being. Figure out what type of person you want in your life and go after that. Don't go after just any person. And if you can't find that person, be chill with being alone. Okay? That's where I am right at this moment, because I have 13,000 more stories about needing people, not choosing the right people, and dealing with the consequences. Okay? And more will come. But be happy being with yourself. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I helped somebody. Stay tuned for the next one, okay? Like this if you liked it. Subscribe. Watch some other videos. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.